Hey sports fans! So after running 50 kilometers around Alsace, I came to Orléans to cycle the Loire Valley trail. It's a trail that stretches across the entirety of France from east to west. I'm just going to be cycling for a few days in the central region, checking out some chateaus, wineries, doing a little tasting, and yeah, just seeing what's so special about this region that they're celebrating their 25th anniversary. 25th anniversary for the trail, not the region. The region's, obviously been around a lot longer than that. Hey sports fans, I am here in Orléans heading to dinner before setting off on the Loire Valley Trail, and I've got my glasses on because I'm going to Le Cabinet Vert. Pictures online made it look a bit fancy, at least more than I'm traditionally accustomed to, so hoping I can fit in a little bit. Interesting, it's got this popcorn in there, but it's asparagus. Alright, well I just left and turns out it wasn't overly fancy. It was just, a delicious dinner. And they were able to make some vegetarian options for me, so that was much appreciated. Now I'm heading back to the hotel, walking along the river during this lovely little sunset and getting ready for tomorrow's bike ride. Right, I'm all packed up, ready to go. I've done cycling trips before, but usually with the whole lycra outfit, the tight pants and the tight shirt. I've never done the casual touring style, strangely enough. So I wasn't quite sure what to wear. I've got comfortable hiking pants on down here, and I went with the trail shoes because I just thought those would be a bit more comfortable. But as I wore it last night as well to what I thought would be a fancy dinner, but was perfectly lovely for my style. I have this shirt, which, for better or worse, somebody will watch this and tell me yeah, no, that doesn't pass. This is the t-shirt I wear when I'm going someplace where I want to look nice, but it's a bit warm for something long sleeve. So I wear this because I don't know why I think it's my nice shirt, because I guess because it has no visible branding, and almost all of my shirts reference Cleveland or Cuyahoga Valley National Park or some other city that I really like, and it's just blasted on the front of the shirt. And this one's just, I think a nice t-shirt. I don't know. And since I'm going to chateaus and wineries and whatnot, I want to look, not like a schlub. There are enough negative stereotypes about American travelers these days, so I don't really want to add to the trash heap, if you will. So I don't want to look too schlubby. So this is what I'm going with. I've got all my stuff. I'm going to head down now. They say my bike is ready. And I guess just hop on and start, pedaling as you do on a bike. Oh, there it is. Alright, well, slight hiccup. There's obviously a bike lock here, but I don't know the code. Was not given a code. So they're running back to find out if there's a code anywhere, and then I'll start riding. Alright, I'm on the bike. Gotta start now. Going uphill a little bit on what was supposed to be an almost entirely flat course. So far, easy breezy. It's gorgeous. It's sparkling like a painting. And just like that, out here in the countryside, in Orléans literally 10 seconds ago, and now look at this. It's like I'm in the middle of nowhere. That's what I love about European cities. You can just so quickly get out of the city and into nature. And as soon as I say that, here comes a car. Got excited chasing that cyclist and got off course for a second there, but heading back on. So I do prefer generally having the GPX on my watch so that I can just kind of glance every now and again and know that I'm on the right path. But that said, you do see pretty frequently Loire Valley painted on the path. So it's just another gentle indication that you're not lost. Have to keep my mouth mostly shut because there's a lot of bugs flying around in this tall grass, smacking me kind of like rain droplets on a windshield. I don't really have anything protecting my mouth. Should probably stop yapping. You know, one thing I do love about cycling, especially on a path like this dedicated to cycling, is that it's the only way to see these places. These days, there are a lot of what I'm gonna call park and peak tourists. You know, they take the tourist van or in their own car, they drive up to wherever the viewpoint is. They park, have a look, and then they drive on. They don't want to do the hike even if they're able to. They don't want to do much of anything physical. Come to think of it, they just want to see the thing that they saw on Instagram or heard about and get on with their day. It's like the Ozempic of tourism. Debatable whether or not I'll put that line in. Might get me into a lot of trouble. But you can't do that here. You gotta ride. So right now I'm projected to arrive at the town with the train station that I need to hop on. I'm projected to arrive more than an hour earlier than planned for in my itinerary. So that might mean I need to take it easier, but I can't help it. When I get on the bike, the most cycling I've ever done is, you know, when you're clipped in and you're flying. And I'm seeing a few cyclists like that, and I really want to dive in and do that, but I just got to remind myself that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to take in the sights and do a little bit of recovery after my ultra marathon. But it really does look fun to be clipped in and just be really hitting these paths next time. All right, I pulled over because I'm making great time and I wanted to stop and use this Merlin app I have to see what kind of birds I'm hearing chirping around here, because I just entered this part where it's a little bit more forested and I'm just hearing all kinds of chirping. It's like a Disney film or something. And so here are the results. We have a song thrush, a common chaffinch, and last but not least, a great tit. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's just about 8 kilometers to go until I'm in the next town where I hop on the train. The trail turned into kind of a mix of crushed limestone and concrete. So a little bit bumpier, but nothing the old tuchus can't handle. Sounds weird. Not sure why, but it does. So lately the trail has gotten pretty narrow, much more wooded, and you can see how the pollen's kind of gathered up on the side here. Almost looks like snow. Well, I just passed a sign that said Bienvenue à Beauchamp. So unless my French somehow got even worse, I think I'm in Beauchamp, which is a town where I'm gonna pause for a bit, hop on the train to, hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Blois, B-L-O-I-S, Blois, Blois, Blue, Blee, Blois. And I'm gonna take the train over there and then cycle a bit more to a chateau. Nice little climb to the train station. Alrighty, I think I made it to the train station. Alright, so there we have it. You can see that is the direction I'm supposed to go. Kind of wish I brought a book with me, but I guess I'll just listen to a podcast and chill out for a bit. until the train comes and I cycle some more. And we're off again. So on this second bit of the day, it seems like the path is shared with bikes and cars. It's still mostly cyclists, but I am seeing the occasional car go by. Well, isn't this just a quaint little village? Little village, that's kind of redundant, isn't it? I've never been in a big village. Well, I wish I had my clip-on pedals because this looks like a fun climb, but it ain't happening on this bike. But I just passed where I'm going to be spending the night, and it looks like I got to schlep up here to get to the chateau. But before I dive in, I need lunch. So I saunter up to the buffet before getting a tour of the castle. This, strangely enough, would end up being one of my favorite meals of the entire trip. Alright, well, I was told that my vegetarian sausage will take about 10 minutes, so I'm starting with a salad, some bread, and dessert, a little crumble. Sure, a little of everything would be good. Perfect, thank you so much. And because I am a serious journalist, I got some cheesecake as well, because I gotta try a little bit of everything. Pleasantly plump, I meet up with Ophélie for a tour of my first castle of the trip, the Domaine de Chaumont-sur-Loire. A castle so refined, so elegant. I'm feeling a little self-conscious with my sweat stains from cycling all morning. It's understandable. How do you say that? I know, but I started this trip and I was like, I don't know what to, I'm gonna go to a nice chateau. I don't want to wear. You should have wore white, maybe. Well, I was like, I'm going to a nice chateau. Or I don't want to. Yeah, maybe, but I'm not a very fancy guy, and so I was like, I'm going to a chateau. I want to like not look like an American schlub because there's enough negative stereotypes about us out there. So I was like, this is like my kind of nice t-shirt, but then it just got so hot. I was like,
it's alright.
Yeah.
I'm sweaty as well.
Yeah, but I'll just face this way so it's not too like, oh, what the hell is that? The Domaine is an 11th century castle and UNESCO World Heritage Site that could easily double as a backdrop of a Disney film with its series of connected cylinder towers topped with smooth, coned roofs. The castle's interior has been almost entirely converted into an art gallery. The chapel, for instance, is now full of branches strewn about like some kind of apocalyptic scene out of The Last of Us, and a work created by Swiss artists Gerda Steiner and Jörg Lenzlinger.
So the chateau we know today has been made in year 1000 in wood. Mm-hmm. It has been burned down, and then a rich family from Amboise, with a city about 20 minutes away, they bought the land of Chaumont and they rebuilt the chateau in the 15th century. There is a part that looks like medieval style, and another part that is more like Renaissance part, because it took 40 years to build it.
Right. So it kind of transitioned through the phases.
Exactly.
And then, so now though, it's like a mixture of history and art.
Totally, because today Chaumont-sur-Loire is a center of art and nature. So we have an art season every year, with 15 new artists who exhibit their art in the chateau, in the stables, and in the farmyard, with a building from the 1903. And we also have an international garden festival with 25 new gardens made each year. And they are made according to a theme. And this year's theme is Once Upon a Time in Garden.
This place is huge, first
of all.
like the whole, like we went through the chateau, And then some of the gardens, not all of them, you were saying that you would need like a good hour, hour and a half to see them all. And then to see the entire, what did you say, 35 hectares?
Yes,
You would need like a day,
totally.
at least.
At least.
Yeah.
You need at least one day to visit it all. The art, the garden, the chateau. So we have restaurants for you to take a break. And sometimes it's best if you have 2 days to visit the domain, it's the best of the best. And we have a beautiful view on the Loire. We have the best view on the Loire because the chateau is right upon the village, and we don't even see the village from the chateau. We see the Loire, only the Loire. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely not ugly.
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful landscape.
Sufficiently cultured, I roll down the hillside back to the Loire.
All right, well, after visiting the chateau, I am now back on the Loire River, and I'm going to be meeting up with a boat tour company, I believe, for a little paddle, float, I don't know, heading out onto the river for about an hour before settling into my boat hotel for the evening, dinner, and sleep before doing some version of it all again tomorrow. All right, well, I'm on the boat. They said that they're just waiting for a translator, but the captain spoke absolutely perfect English. Just makes me think of the discrepancy between what an American thinks is speaking a language. You'll hear a lot of Americans be like, oh yeah, I speak Spanish or whatever. But then when push comes to shove and you're thrown into a conversation, it's like, oh yeah, biblioteca.
The relaxing excursion cements my growing sentiment that the Loire reminds me of the German Rhine with its grassy, sandy islands popping up in the middle. There's one here that we sail around with signs warning against trespassing on the island to protect the tern, a kind of seabird who uses it to lay their eggs. Back at shore, I'm escorted just a short walk down to the houseboat where I'll be spending the night.
Les toilettes, ce sont des toilettes sèches.
Toilet sesh?
Toilet session. No
We're
water.
having a toilet session.
It's without water.
Okay.
After use, half.
Oh, yeah, sawdust. Yep. Sawdust. Yeah. I remember
The
that.
light is
After the tour, I quickly get settled in and hop in the shower, which is an experience in and of itself.
Well, I just got out of the shower and totally fine using this whole pump situation. I could definitely smell like the river water. I presume it's like cleansed or something because they were talking about like some power plants in the vicinity earlier, and you know, don't want to be growing a third eye like the Simpsons fish. But one thing I forgot to plan for was that maybe I would need my own soap. And unfortunately, I couldn't find anything on the boat, but I did find this dish soap. So hopefully that's kosher to shower with. So yeah, dish soap. What you shower with when you really got nothing else and you got no other choice. Other than smell stinky, but I don't think France wants that out of me.
Sparkling like, well, dishes fresh out of the washer, I get dressed for dinner at Feu de Loire, which roughly translates to the madman of the Loire. So I feel right at home.
I'm outside of my houseboat now. Feels weird to say that, my houseboat. But dinner is just up over there, so I'm gonna go eat.
After a crisp glass of the local Chardonnay, a phenomenal tartine with goat cheese topped with seasonal veggies, and a little something for the sweet tooth, I'm reminded of something I've said in previous adventures. If reincarnation is real, I'm coming back as a dung beetle.
So I'm about to lie down in bed and prepare my route for tomorrow. And there was this curtain in front of the bed, and I just pulled it back, and it's pretty nice. I don't know if I need to move into a houseboat, but having this like right in front of me, that's pretty cool. Hell of a way to wake up. Good morning, sports fans. Welcome back to my houseboat. Had some nice sleep last night. Woke up pretty early to lots of birds chirping. It kind of reminded me of, the beginning of an orchestral performance when everybody's tuning and getting their instruments ready. So that was a lovely way to wake up. Anyways, for today, we're pulling a little bit of an audible because unfortunately there's a lot of rain in the forecast in the afternoon. And I'm not talking about 20% chance. Ooh. This is 50% chance at noon and then boom, 100% the rest of the day. You're definitely gonna get hit. And I want to avoid that, especially because my last stop to my hotel does not have a train option because they're kind of outside of the cities. So I need a bike and I would like to stay dry. So what we're gonna do instead is have this coffee, hopefully breakfast comes soon, and then I'm gonna hop on the bike, go to my first stop, which is the last place that Leonardo da Vinci lived. I know what you're thinking, Leonardo da Vinci, Italian, he would have been in Italy. No, we're right here in the Loire Valley. Who'd have thunk it? So I'm gonna go see where he ended up in his last days, and then I'm gonna keep cycling a little bit more to a wine cave for a little wine tasting. Then after that, I just go to the hotel early, which honestly I'm kind of fine with after schlepping around in the sun all day yesterday, which, ultimately I love, but my skin got hit a little bit. I'm an idiot and forgot sunscreen. I almost said ice cream. Don't rub ice cream into your skin. Eat the ice cream. Rub the sunscreen into your skin. So I definitely got to the end of yesterday and was feeling a bit zapped. So, if the afternoon ends up being chill at a nice hotel, that's fine by me. But for now, I got coffee to drink and I gotta get moving. Well, isn't this just lovely? Look what just came onto my boat balcony, I guess. Nice little basket of yummies. Got some orange juice. Looks like some pastries. Oh, a jar of strawberries and some fruit. Cool. Gonna dive in. So originally I looked up on Google Maps what time this first stop where Leonardo da Vinci lived open, and it said 10 a.m. on Google Maps, but I've been getting kind of antsy, so I looked on the website. Can you tell I've had a lot of coffee? I looked on the website, and it looks like during this time of year, it's actually open at 9. So that means I could have left a little bit ago, but I got these wonderful fresh strawberries, so I'm chowing down on these like a freaking chipmunk and having more coffee. And I'm gonna get going.
Very different compared to yesterday. No, you didn't hear me. The wind is already bringing tears to my eyes. Times like these, I wish I could just clip in and climb this thing instead of pound on these pedals like a hamster in a wheel. Like that I had to clarify hamster in a wheel. Where else would you be a hamster? Hills are our friends. It's what my father-in-law always says. Not feeling very friendly right now though. Alright, well I'm awake now. Holy hell. I want bonus points for doing that on this kind of a bike. Jesus Christ. Looks like the wineries are up and at 'em, harvesting perhaps. So the path today has been much more wavy. Really wish I could get clipped in. So I think it'd be fun to just, go down those descents and push yourself on the climbs. Also, the path has been on shared road far more often than yesterday. Yesterday I was basically never sharing it with cars, but for most of it today so far, I've been sharing it with cars. I arrive at Clos Lucé, where loads of school children are trotting around the grounds like lemmings with their matching colored hats to admire the home where Leonardo da Vinci spent the last 3 years of his life. The Tuscan artist and inventor moved to the chateau in 1516 at the invitation of King Francis I. Because da Vinci turned out to be the most famous resident, the chateau has been converted into a museum of his life's work while giving a glimpse into where he lived and slept during the last few years of his life. The exhibitions touch not only on his artistic career, but on some of the more interesting to bizarre designs he concocted for military equipment, like a large, wide cone tank shaped like a Hershey's Kiss. Well, I did quite the quick tour there of Da Vinci's old digs. I didn't realize how much military equipment he was interested in designing, like that little tank that he said could replace elephants. That was interesting. Also weird that we ever use elephants for war. Anywho, just gonna walk around this garden very quick before I hop back on my bike to continue on to what will be a early wine tasting for the day. Alright, this is more like it. I thought the first bit of riding to the Da Vinci place, I can't pronounce it, I'm just gonna call it the Da Vinci place. Didn't think that was particularly beautiful. Plus I didn't love having to share the road with cars. But this is more like yesterday and I'm liking it. Just pause to take my jacket off real quick, and if I'm not mistaken, those birds I'm hearing, more great tits. I think I'm becoming a birder. And if you think when I'm talking about great tits, I'm talking about anything other than the profound admiration of birds, then maybe you need some self-reflection. It's 2025. It's like Michael Jackson said, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. And good thing he never did anything questionable. There's bike parking for the wine tasting. Alright, I'm thirsty. The Maison La Douceuse wine cave was built in 1961 into a limestone cliff that keeps the bottles cooling at around 12 degrees Celsius. Etienne here takes me through the tasting. Yeah, these are the kinds I like. I'm not I don't know a ton about wine, but I just know I like dry and this kind of flavor profile.
It's dry, but it's very fresh also. It was opened in 1961, sorry. We have today 14 wine growers, and the specialty of the winery is to make traditional wines from Montlouis, dry, sparkling, or maybe more sweet also.
And you said you're making 1 million bottles
1 million bottles a year.
And you have 3 million stored elsewhere.
Yes, in our cellar, yes.
That's a lot of wine. And how did you get involved in wine?
I'm not from here, I'm from the north of France, so we do not have wines in, in the north. But it was a great passion. I always like the product, I always like how we make wine, how we sell wine, how we make the labels, how we make the vinification and everything. So it was written in my life to
do this.
to do this, yes.
There are worse things to have written in your life.
Yes, maybe.
I know I can, but I just can't bring myself to pour it out. I mean, you love this stuff. Does a little part of you die inside every time you have to you pour some of it out?
Yes.
All right, I'm back on the bike. And while I'm not saying that I had too much wine, because that would be irresponsible, I am saying that on occasion I have been going wee, because it was fun cycling. Let's turn here. All right, so for the rest of this route, I am on the Loire Valley trail, but I'm also hopping back off to get to the hotel. So I'm gonna pack away this camera because I got to concentrate. So make sure I get to the hotel safely. With my taste buds buzzing in the finest flavors of the Loire Valley, I coast for another 40 minutes to Le Haut Rouge, where I'll be spending the night. So I just walked into my hotel room, and I'm nervous to go any further than the doorway because, how do I put this? It's a very nice hotel room. And I kind of think I have no business being in here. I'm wondering if they mix me up for somebody else. I mean, look at this. There is a bust of somebody in my room. I honest to God don't know if I've been willingly welcomed into a room with a bust before. I've said this before in previous videos, perhaps even the most recent one. You should go watch that because I don't think it got the views that I would really like it to have gotten. But I know I've said this in previous videos that if reincarnation is real, I'm afraid I'm coming back as a dung beetle. Because this does not suck. And I almost certainly do not deserve it. Not wanting to sully the place with my aura of dried sweat and insecurity, I retreat to the bar for a late lunch, a tomato salad with a massive dollop of burrata. I then head back to my room for a hot bath. You know, this is probably the closest I'll ever get to an OnlyFans. So drink it in, or grab a trash can to the side of you and vomit. I really don't know what your preference is. Over time, I'm able to start washing away some of the imposter syndrome. Now as a guest of this fine establishment, and let's be honest, as somebody who has absolutely no business being in a place like this, it's important that I compose myself, conduct myself to the high standards that such an establishment surely demands. But first, boy, that was oddly satisfying. Good morning. It looks like a beautiful day out there. I am just going to make some coffee in here, do some stretching and mobility that I've been missing out on by being busy on the bike path, and then, yeah, go hit this last 65 kilometers. Okay, I just checked out and I'm about to hop on the bike, but I just want to take one last second to show off the hotel behind me, because this is just like people who, especially in like the online travel space, who say like, oh, I just like to rough it and camp it. I like doing those things too. But if you tell me you don't like these kinds of just like really nice hotels, then you're lying to yourself. I wish I could just stay here for a few days. Like, this is a great place to just chill, relax. You got the Loire right there. Life does not suck here. But alas, I've got 65 kilometers today. And first up, I've got about 30-ish to a little chateau. So I best get moving. All right, so the course is going okay so far. I got excited because I was riding on the main road busy like yesterday, and I wasn't super nuts about that road. It's not the official route. It's just what I had to take to get to the hotel. And I was back on that road for a little bit, and I was excited because I wasn't on it for long, and I saw that there was a paved path. But then as soon as I got there, of course, it said deviation, and I had to come back to the main road, and I was skeptical because, as often is the case for cyclists, you know, they'll say like, oh, detour, and then there's no other signs for cyclists. But in this case, I was pleasantly surprised because I did go up the road a little bit further and there was a deviation sign to come over here where I am now. Well, let me get this.
Oh, bah super, c'est royal. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, you didn't see it, but see that woman back there? There's a little gate here, and while I'm taking off my jacket because it's getting a little toasty, I've been opening up the gate for people as they pass on by. So yeah, the deviation sign actually worked. I'm just, like I said, taking the jacket off because it was getting a little toasty, and I'm gonna hop on this trail and keep going. This isn't the Loire Valley trail route. It isn't that what I'm on. What kind of English is that? I'm not on the trail right now because I went off course to get to that hotel, but I've got about, I think it's like 7 kilometers, and then I hop back on the trail for the rest of the way to the chateau. Well, that looked lovely. That's kind of been the thing with cycling this trail. You go by so many things. They're like, oh, that would have been nice to see. But depending on what time of day you're going by, it's probably closed, like some of the vineyards, chateaus, or just like little picnicky outdoor restaurant areas like that right on the river. You know, I'm glad today is my last day, not because I'm tired of doing this. This is wonderful. But I'm not wearing bike shorts. And if you're adverse to TMI, you can pause here, but getting a little sore down in Rainbow Road, as I like to call it. Just crossed the bridge. I think I'm getting back onto the trail, so I'm in another town. As is the case with most of these places, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Maybe I'll put it on the screen. You can try to pronounce it. It's Europe, so big ass churches. Alright, sports fans, I am out of the city, and once again, like I said at the beginning of this ride, what I love about cycling around in Europe, or just European cities in general, is how you can be in the city in 1 second and you just like turn right on a bike path or a trail, and then you're just like in a rural area or like a village. Anyway, I wanted to say that I'm officially back on the trail, but something they did in the city that I really liked, I'm sure I've seen it before and just forgot, but on some of the smaller intersections, they had a traffic symbol, or they had a traffic light just for bikes, and it would flash yellow while the cars were stopped red, saying like, you know, caution, you can go through. And I love that because, you know, on a bike, you're just trying to scoot on through, not taking up much space. I also have seen a lot of cyclists on the trail throughout the route. It's hard to know how many people are doing exactly what I'm doing, or some version of it, because I don't parlay the Francais very well. But just like I love about Germany, it's great to be anywhere where people are embracing the outdoors as much as possible, at every age. I'm noticing that another river I'm going by a lot is called Le Cher. Here I always thought Cher was Armenian, but you know, you learn something. I do love these shaded bits of forest, not only because it's scenic, but because I've got the PEC sunscreen and I'm mildly pale, not to brag. You know, I just got here, running a little late. I think going through that city slowed me up some, and also I couldn't find bike parking, so saw these other bikes here and thought, I don't know, seems kosher. So having a quick snack, and I'm running up there to the chateau. Okay, I found the bike parking. For the record, it's actually right in front of the chateau, and it's plentiful. I'm tempted to go back and get my bike, but I'm also already running late. But yeah, I kind of feel like a dummy because I'm looking at the chateau. Look at all this bike parking.
At Chateau de Villandry, I learned that this is, arguably, a part American castle. The owner's great-grandmother, Anne Coleman, was born in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. She was a researcher in Paris when she met her future husband, the Spaniard Joaquim Carvalho. The two married in Pennsylvania, moved to France, and eventually purchased the chateau. During their lifetime, they opened sections of the castle to the public. Now, visitors can visit just about everything.
So now I just did that quick little tour. I'm walking around the gardens. There's like a recommended route that you can do that he said is about 1 kilometer. So I'm gonna do this. Right now I'm in the forest, so it's kind of nice. You know, I've been cycling, now I'm getting like a little tiny hike in. Go check out the gardens and go get some lunch and finish up this bike ride. I am back on Loire Valley. 38 kilometers to Chinon. That's it. I'm gonna go to the fortress and then hotel, dinner, donezo. I just glanced at my watch and I'm on here for 10 kilometers. Seems like I'm gonna be sharing with cars. Not too many cars, but being limited to 70 kilometers an hour, which I don't know, if me, it's a bit much, but I built a path. Alright, well I just turned off the Loire Valley trail, so the rest of my riding is just to Chinon. Feels weird, it's just like, I feel like I just started riding this thing, I'm already off the trail. Anywho, it's still a 70 kilometer hour road, so it's probably nice. Lest you think that all the sights to see are right on the Loire Valley trail, there's still stuff just off the trail. Look at this little castle-y chateau coming up. Decided to pause here because I think I'd actually like to take a photo of this. Ooh, that back sweat is not comfortable. That is cold. Weird how I'm sweating because I'm hot, then the back sweat is cold. Reading this informational sign here. All in French. Guess I don't get to expand my knowledge. Since Chinon is away from the river, seems that means I gotta go up because I've been doing a fair bit of climbing. But that's okay. Getting a little sweaty is fun sometimes. Just entered Chinon. The finish line, the made-up finish line, is near. Hopefully this is the last climb. It's been really slow going. So I was just cycling on my merry way and realized that I had passed the fortress. And I stopped, looked it up, the quickest way from where I was, which is basically by the hotel. Apparently it was up Joan of Arc Street, which is this. Hoping there's a better way down. Alright, well this looks promising.
A tour guide greets me at the gift shop before taking me on a quick tour of the castle. She starts by noting that this place has been inhabited for a whopping 3,000 years. The beginnings of the castle didn't come around until about the 10th century. Indeed, a subtle theme of the trip has been the frequent historical reminder that this is where the Celts once lived before the Romans conquered the region. You know, as the Romans were wont to do.
Just crossing this river and I'm at my hotel. And just like that, I am a human again. I showered up, I feel good, and I'm done with the Loire Valley Trail, Loire Valley. I'm gonna make this quick because I wanna head out shortly to go get a beer. I've been doing so much wine because that's, you know, what the region's known for, but I'm really at heart a beer guy, and I'm excited to check out some of the local brews that they've got around here. But before I go, I wanted to say thanks for watching. Thanks to the Loire Valley Tourism Board for having me out here, for helping organize things, getting me on the bike, sending me through the valley. It really was a great time. I can highly recommend it. Some people seem to think I was cycling long distances. Whenever I would get to some destination, they'd ask where I came from. Oh wow, that's a lot. I don't know, I guess depends on what you prefer. But I mentioned that only to say that if you wanted to go further, you could. If you wanted to go, 5 kilometers and stop each time, you could, because there's so much stuff here. I saw things that I was passing by and I was like, oh, it would have been nice to do like a lunch there or just see what's going on. But that's kind of the reality of travel. You can't do everything. But I am very grateful for what I was able to do. Now, I think I mentioned earlier in the video that this whole thing in France started with a 50K ultra marathon that my wife Melanie and I ran in Alsace. So if you didn't watch that video, you can go watch that now. Otherwise, like I said, I need to go get a beer in me. Then I've got dinner. But if you did see that video, I've got lots of other stuff on my channel that, I'm pretty certain that you haven't seen. Like, surely you haven't seen all of my videos. All right, enough yammering. I'm out of here. Juice.